right, everyone, you need to sit down for this one. Because Meghan Markle, in her endless, desperate, and frankly, deeply pathetic quest to reinvent herself as some kind of lifestyle guru, has just made a catastrophic and entirely predictable mistake. She tried to seize the spotlight with her new, laughably named lifestyle brand, As Ever. She sent out another one of her trademark glossy, over-curated press boxes, stamped with her cloying "With Love Meghan" signature. But instead of the gushing, positive PR she so clearly expected, what she got was a brutal and public lesson in authenticity. The box, you see, landed in the hands of someone who doesn't just dabble in lifestyle content for a Netflix camera crew, she actually lives it. We are talking about the incredible Akilah S. Relford Gould, the powerhouse entrepreneur behind Bloom Ranch, the largest black-owned farm in all of Southern California. And Akilah didn't just accept Meghan's little gift. She took that box of mediocrity and she turned the whole thing into a masterclass on what real, authentic, farm-to-table living actually looks like. And in doing so, she has once again, unintentionally but devastatingly, exposed just how hollow, how fake, and how utterly artificial Meghan Markle's entire brand truly is. This wasn't just a PR moment, you guys. It was a showdown. A battle between the artificial and the authentic. And let me tell you, the Duchess of Staged branding got absolutely, unequivocally demolished. Now, I know you guys are excited for more core. But before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. So now first, let's talk about who Akilah Relford Gould is, because she is the real hero of this story. She is everything that Meghan Markle desperately pretends to be. Akilah is not a duchess. She is not a former actress clinging to a royal title. She is not someone sitting on a multi-million-dollar Netflix contract, trying to figure out what to do next. She is a real entrepreneur, a farmer, a creator. A woman who has built a genuine, beautiful lifestyle brand that is rooted in actual daily practice. At her Bloom Ranch, she gets her hands dirty. She grows her own lavender, her own peaches, her own herbs. She makes her own teas, her own preserves, her own flower sprinkles, and even her own line of rosé called Lucky Girl. Her Instagram is not a collection of staged, sepia-toned photo shoots. It is brimming with real, tangible creativity. She doesn't just arrange flowers for a camera crew. She lives and breathes her brand. And that is precisely why Meghan's cynical strategy of sending her a PR box was so spectacularly doomed from the very start. Because when you hand a world-class professional chef a package of cheap store-bought cookie mix and a jar of generic jam, she is going to politely set it aside and show the entire world what real cooking and real crafting actually looks like. And in comparison, Meghan's glossy, empty branding just comes across as painfully, laughably artificial. And this isn't the first time that Meghan's little PR stunt has backfired with this very same woman. This was round two. The first press box that she sent to Akilah was already a public embarrassment for her. Meghan's hope was simple, that these influential and creative people would open her box, gush about her products, and give her failing brand some instant, borrowed credibility. But Akilah completely flipped the script. With pure, effortless class, she politely unboxed Meghan's items, and then she seamlessly, naturally, shifted the spotlight onto her own, far superior creations. Her homemade flower sprinkles, her farm-grown preserves, her Lucky Girl rosé. It wasn't even a malicious act. It was just a natural one. When you are genuinely talented and passionate about what you do, you can't help but shine. And Meghan, in that moment, was left looking like a cheap amateur copycat. A duchess who was dabbling in a world she clearly didn't understand, completely and utterly overshadowed by someone who actually knows what she is doing. And you would you would honestly think that her high-priced, supposedly brilliant PR team would have learned from that initial embarrassment. But no. Fast forward to today, and she tried the exact same tired play again. She sent another box to Akilah, this time with a recipe for thumbprint cookies and a few more branded goodies. And once again, Akilah took that box and she turned it into her own magnificent showcase. There was no sign of Meghan's cookie mix. Instead, Akilah baked from scratch, using beautiful fresh peaches from her own ranch and her own stunning homemade preserves. Viewers couldn't even confirm if Meghan's mix was even touched at all. And forget Meghan's prepackaged tea bags. Akilah brewed her own fresh lavender orange black tea with mint, using lavender that was grown on her own land. That is a level of authenticity that Meghan Markle, with all her money and all her titles, simply cannot replicate. And as for Meghan's marmalade, Akilah picked it up, she looked at it, and then she set it aside. And instead, she reached for her own beautiful jars of jam, bubbling with color and texture and life. The result was a video that was filled with warmth, with talent, and with a soul-deep authenticity. A feast for the eyes that looked 10 times better than anything that Meghan has ever produced on her boring Netflix show or in any of her as-ever marketing. And the public reaction, the comments under Akilah's post, said it all. You do it so much better than Meghan. She's always copying you, even your rosé. This is how you run a cooking show. Akilah deserves her own Netflix series. The fans weren't just impressed with Akilah. They were openly and enthusiastically contrasting her with Meghan. And Meghan was losing every single comparison. And even worse, some of those critical comments then mysteriously vanished later on, which just fueled the speculation that Meghan's PR machine was in a panic, desperately trying to clean up the optics. But enough of them remained to capture the overwhelming sentiment. Meghan looked like the pretender. Akilah looked like the real deal. And this isn't happening in a vacuum, you guys. Meghan's lifestyle brand, as ever, has been a complete and utter disaster from the moment it launched. First, there were the sellouts and the complaints. Some of her products, the jams and the shortbread mixes, sold out instantly. But then, the customers who had bought them complained that they never even received their orders, forcing Meghan to issue a series of humiliating apologies, refunds, and pathetic promises of freebies in future drops. So instead of generating excitement, as ever was just generating frustration and anger. Then there was the brand identity crisis. It started its life as the ridiculously named American Riviera Orchard, only to be quickly rebranded due to trademark issues. And the new name, as ever, came with its own fresh set of headaches, including accusations that Meghan's logo was copied from a small Spanish town's emblem, which sparked legal rumblings from local officials. And then, of course, there is the contradictory messaging. Meghan has long insisted that she wants absolute privacy for her children. Yet both As Ever and her Netflix show have leaned heavily on the imagery of Archie and Lilibet, and critics have rightly called it what it is, manipulative. They have pointed out the staggering hypocrisy. And against this backdrop of chaos, of failure, and of hypocrisy, Akilah's effortless, joyful authenticity looks even more devastating for Meghan. Akilah doesn't have to apologize for stock shortages. She doesn't get accused of stealing logos, and she doesn't face accusations of exploiting her own kids for PR. She just creates, and people absolutely love it. And this whole saga underscores a bigger, more fundamental truth about this kind of lifestyle branding. You cannot fake authenticity. Audiences are savvy. They can tell the difference between someone who actually cooks every day, who grows their own food, who crafts from a place of genuine passion and experience, versus someone who just arranges flowers for a photo shoot. Akilah lives her brand. Meghan just markets hers, and when the two of them collide, Meghan will always, always come out looking like the pretender. The public perception is now set in stone. In the court of public opinion, Meghan has built a solid reputation for overcuration. From her Netflix series, which was filled with those staged, breathy voiceovers and those awkward close-up shots of her arranging fruit platters, viewers can feel the calculation. Everything she does looks like it has been designed to sell an image, not to share a genuine moment. Akilah, by contrast, radiates an effortlessness. Her cookies aren't perfect, they're real. Her tea isn't branded, it's farm-grown. Her jam isn't wrapped in a marketing slogan, it is made in her own kitchen. And that authenticity is magnetic, and it is why her followers are now clamoring for Netflix to give her a show. Let's be absolutely clear. Sending that press box to Akilah was a strategic blunder of the highest possible order. The entire point of gifting these PR packages is to generate positive buzz for your own brand. But Meghan's team handed the spotlight on a silver platter to someone who doesn't just compete with her. She completely and utterly outshines her. Instead of the conversation being, wow, Meghan's products look great, the conversation immediately became, Wow, Akilah makes Meghan look like a complete and total amateur. That is not PR. That is self-sabotage. And the obvious question is, will Meghan ever learn from this? And history, I'm afraid, suggests no. She has already repeated the exact same mistake twice with the same person, and unless she fundamentally changes her entire approach, she will just keep on repeating it. Because the problem isn't the packaging, it isn't the recipes, and it isn't even the PR strategy. The problem is Meghan herself. She wants to sell authenticity without ever having to live it. She wants to be Martha Stewart or Joanna Gaines, but she doesn't cook daily, she doesn't grow her own produce, and she doesn't craft naturally. She is playing the role of a lifestyle guru without ever having earned it, and the audiences can see right through it. At the end of the day, the verdict is simple. Akilah Relford Gould is the absolute embodiment of authentic lifestyle content. She is creative, she is real, she is engaging, and she is admired. Meghan Markle remains the Duchess of staged branding, forever chasing an image that she can never ever truly embody. And by sending that press box, Meghan handed Akilah the opportunity to shine, and shine she did. She baked, she brewed, and she preserved her way right into the viewers' hearts. And Meghan, she was left as a pathetic, embarrassing footnote in someone else's much more authentic and much more interesting story. So here's the lesson, Meghan. Stop sending Akilah your boxes. She doesn't need them. And every single time you do, you are only reminding the entire world that when it comes to lifestyle credibility, you will always, always come in second place. What do you guys think of this whole insane situation? Is this the final nail in the coffin for her brand? Let me know everything you are thinking down in the comments. Let's really get into this because it is just mind-blowing. Until next time, take care. Ta-ta and bye for now.